What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Wave Magnetic here, back again with another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I actually produced my my song Take No Prisoners. And yeah, if you learn something new, you like what you hear, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell, and share it with your friends. And you know, hit the like or dislike if you don't like it. It helps to promote the channel and make it so that this video goes in front of more people that it may help. You feel me? So let's get to it. All right, so this is a trap type song, and the very first thing that I came up with on this track was actually it's kind of like a bass line, but it's the trombone. And I came up with this trombone line that seemed to groove really cool. So let me solo that for you. This is the first thing I came up with. That right there is really what I wrote the song based off of. And that is actually me. I played trumpet into Ableton, and I just pitched it down. Like, it's really simple. It's kind of, Ableton has a really cool thing. Like with trumpet, if you pitch it down, it'll sound like a trombone or a tuba if you pitch it down like 2 octaves. And it's really simple with what I did on it. All I did was this little radiator that's a preamp, put a little distortion on it, a little bit of EQ on here. And I used the T-Rex 1176, you know, just some compression or whatever. That's basically what I do most of the time when I'm mixing. So yeah, I just doubled that part to get that bass line, and then I added the drums to it. So the drums was basically just a basic trap beat. So right there, that was a fill that I put right here. And that's really cool too, because all I did with this is I took a snare drum. It was one of them short snares, and I just pitch it up so that each time it plays, just goes do, 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 do. You know what I'm saying? And that's a pretty cool way that you can create fills, just pitching instruments up or pitching them down at different times. It sounds like a drum fill. See what I'm saying? It's pretty chill. Again, it's just basic EQ and compression on here, a glue compressor, and I used what's this, the Pro Q. You know, you just boost some sounds, you know, some low end, cut off a little low end, boost some low end, boost some high end to make it cut through. Pretty basic stuff. And then after I had the bass line, or not really the bass, I had the tuba part, and I had the drums. The next thing I did was I added this bass line right here, which is really simple. Like, this right here is just an 808 that I made. I call it Bend 808. And I just make the bass drum and the 808 follow the same pattern. If you ever wondering like what you should do for your bass lines, a really easy way to make your bass drums, and really easy way to get a good bass line is to make it follow the kick drum. If you look, see, I got the bass line. Bass comes in right there, kicks right here, bass is right here, kick is right there. Same thing. They always line up. Well, not always. Sometimes that was a little extra note. But for the most part, they line up, and that's how you make sure that it's grooving. So check it out. Check it out. When I put it together with the tuba or the trombone, listen to that. You You see what I'm saying? Like every time the kick goes, the note changes or it hits on the 808. So that's a really good way to make sure that everything is grooving together. And when I'm mixing this, when I do my bass, it's really simple. I put a limiter, I smash it with the limiter pretty much. I don't want the 808 to get loud or soft. The 808, the purpose is to get that low end to be super solid so that it just rattles the shit out of those subs when you're in the club. But you don't want it to get too out of control, so you don't want it to get really loud either. You just want it to be right here. It doesn't move the whole time. That's all you want. So I got that in there, and then I put a little bit of EQ on here. Here's the thing. Never EQ the bass before the limiter. So like if you're going like this, if you do it beforehand, it's not going to be a good look, because what's going to wind up happening is certain notes are going to be louder than others, and it's going to trigger the limiter differently, and it's not going to be an even bass. So if you're going to EQ the low end of a bass, do it after the limiter. That way the notes are more even, and you can make, if you want a note to be louder, you can use EQ to make the note louder. Or if you want a particular note to be quieter, you can use EQ to make the note quieter. You see? And then I put a little distortion. So like this is parallel distortion. This is how you do it with the audio effects rack in Ableton. So right here is the distortion. I use the T-Rack Saturator X. This is actually a bad boy right here. Not many people talk about this, but this is pretty fire. You just distort it and run it in parallel till it sounds the way you want it to sound. The next thing I added was, I think it was the melody, which is in the horns, is pretty basic. Just came up with a melody. That's the basic melody of like this whole song. And when I layer my horns, I do 3. So at least not always. Most of the time I do either 2 or 3. So these 3 right here are all playing the same thing. I just layered them, and I do 1 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 dead center, right? And then I do trombone, octave lower, 1 to the left, 1 in the center, 1 to the right. And again, it's really simple. Distortion, compressor, and since they're all put together, I EQ'd them as a section. So sometimes you can EQ individual instruments, but sometimes you want to treat it as a section, and sometimes it's just easier to treat it as a section when they all playing the same exact thing. Rather than having like, what would that be, 9 EQs, I just wanted to have 1. You feel me? So I just used the EQ 81. Again, I love T-Rack stuff. Boost some high end, boost some more high end, boost a little low end, and cut off some bottom end right there. This is really basic stuff. And put a little distortion on it. Same thing. Oh, I'll put a decapitator on here. Just put a little decapitator, and that makes the sounds really pop out of the speakers. Really simple, basic mixing stuff. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So I did that, and then, oh, actually no, I finished the whole song before I put those lyrics on there. So it goes from the main melody into this build up here. So to really enhance the trombones, I made this piano part, and it's really just piano in fifths. That's all the piano does the whole time. It just plays the root notes just in fifths. Boom, 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 boom. It's just that the whole time. And it goes with the trombone and the bass pretty well. So you can hear it. See what I'm saying? That's really chill. And on here, let's see what else I add. So right here, this is a melody that I made up. So I just chopped up this vocal and made a melody that would fit with it, with the chords and everything. And I just repeated it until it sounded dope. And here I made it build up right here. So I made it into a riser. So I just took a piece of the vocal sample, layered it together, and compressed and consolidated it into a track. And then you can just pitch it. So I think it's in here. Let's see if I didn't flatten it. Yeah, in the clip right here. So you see some clip automation right here. I just pitched this thing up 14 cents, I guess that what it is. For like 14 notes, basically 14 half steps. And it just pitches up. You see what I'm saying? That's pretty easy to do. And I put an auto pan on here so that you can hear it going from left to right. Like this is on it on the vocal thing the whole time, because if it was dead center, I mean, the main focus is the horns on this track, and it just goes back and forth. It's like candy. You see what I'm saying? It goes left to right. And here's just some noise and a kick sound right here. This is my white noise. Yeah, it's going left and right. And yeah, I got some claps going right here. Just classic stuff for the build up. And then here's the second drop right here, where I made a new melody with some different chords. So right there, I made a little fill waka right there. And then I made this sound as part of the fill as well. And that's a really simple sound to make. I made that in, what's the name of that thing? An operator. And you can just mess with it, and you can mess with operator and automate some stuff until you get this sound just sound like that. All right. It's really easy. Just make it really wide and just make it sound absurd. And it's really cool when you do it in context. All right. So that all comes together with this right here, which is a reverse snare. You see that? And that's really easy to make too, because if you set this to beats mode, you go into the clip and you set it to beats mode. When you stretch it out, it'll be in time with the track, and it'll stretch it out in a way that creates different rhythmic variations. Sometimes it's kind of unpredictable on what's it going to do, but it's always in time. It's always going to be rhythmic. And you just try and find a way to make it fit, you know, because you can play with it down here. If you like, if I make it eighth notes. Sounds like that. If I make it 16. Oh, it sounds almost the same. See here. See how it changes up, right? And I had it here. So, you know, that right there gives it a period for the horns to come back in. Pretty simple, right? So now here's the next build up ish kind of thing going into the last drop. So I have this melody with the vocals still going on, but I change up the horns a little bit. Let's see. So the trombones come in with this other line. Yeah, so basically that right there is the same line as this. So basically I took that little piece right there and expanded it into its own section. And then now just add harmonies on top of it and just build it up. You see what I'm saying? And then I do it one more time up the octave. There is supposed to be a thing that says "hey" right there, but for some reason I can't find the vocal that said "hey." I don't know where that is on my computer. It might be on a hard drive or something, and that's kind of annoying. But anyway, it's supposed to say "hey," and then it goes into the next thing, which is almost the same as the beginning. I just don't put a break in between, so. You know, simple. And then it goes to the next section. Right here. See, it's really, really, really simple. This song is really simple. And I still have the vocal track going on. I had to just chop it up in a way that I think fits with the melody, fits around the melody. And yeah, that right there is pretty much it. That's how I made the song. So hopefully you learned something new from this. Hopefully this helps you with your productions. If you got any questions about anything, just put it in the comment section below. And hit the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time I have any videos coming out. And like, share, comment. All right, now I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.